Behind the haunting beaked masks of medieval plague, doctors lies a world of hidden secrets and forbidden practices. From mysterious treatments to coded messages, these mysterious healers left behind dark stories that only recently came to light. In the dark days of medieval Europe, fear and disease gave birth to one of history's most unsettling medical figures, the plague doctor. As the Black Death swept through cities in the 1300s, desperate people created this unique role. These doctors wore long black robes and bird-like masks, not just as protection, but to strike fear into death itself. The mask's beak, filled with sweet-smelling herbs and flowers, was thought to filter out the bad air that people believed caused the plague. Local governments would hire these doctors to treat both rich and poor citizens, making them some of the first public health workers. But their appearance scared people so much that mothers would tell their children to behave, or the plague doctor would come for them, turning medical professionals into the boogeyman of medieval times. The plague doctor's mask wasn't just scary, it was a carefully designed piece of medical equipment. The beak shape wasn't random. Doctors believed the longer the beak, the more protection they'd get from the disease. They packed these beaks with lavender, mint, roses, and even crushed garlic. Some even added a type of early air filter made from sponges soaked in vinegar. The glass eyes weren't just for looking through, they were designed to protect against evil air that doctors thought could enter through their eyes. The leather hood was coated with wax to make it waterproof, and the entire outfit was tied tight with leather straps. While it looked terrifying, this was actually one of the first attempts at what we'd now call a hazmat suit. The medical bags of plague doctors held some truly strange and unsettling items. These doctors carried special tools like long wooden sticks to examine patients from a distance, and poke buboes, those painful swellings caused by the plague. Their treatments were often bizarre mixtures: dried toads, mercury for rubbing on skin sores, and even ground-up precious stones that patients had to drink. They also used leeches to drain bad blood, and carried special knives for cutting open plague buboes. Perhaps most shocking was their use of live chickens. They would pluck the feathers off and tie them to buboes, believing the birds would draw out the sickness. While these treatments seem scary today, they show how desperate medieval doctors were to find anything that might help their patients survive. Beyond the official medical books, plague doctors had a darker side to their practice that few people knew about. Many performed secret treatments away from public view, mixing forbidden herbs with ancient folk magic. They would sometimes treat patients in hidden rooms, using methods that the church had banned. Some doctors created their own medicines by mixing poisonous metals with local plants, while others performed rituals at midnight when they thought healing powers were strongest. They would draw strange symbols on patients' doors, burn special herbs, and whisper chants that mixed prayer with old pagan words. These unofficial treatments show how plague doctors walked a fine line between accepted medicine and forbidden practices. While their official records showed standard treatments, their private journals, when found, tell stories of desperate healers trying anything to save lives. What many people don't know is that plague doctors weren't just healers. They were also part of a secret network of information gatherers. These masked figures used special symbols and codes to communicate with each other across different cities. They would mark buildings with hidden signs to warn other doctors about the spread of disease. In their detailed reports to city officials, they included coded messages about more than just illness. They shared news about civil unrest, food shortages, and even political plots. Their masks and scary appearance actually helped them move freely through cities, as scared citizens would clear the streets when they approached. This freedom of movement made them perfect for gathering and sharing sensitive information. They developed their own secret language, using special marks in their medical notes that only other plague doctors could understand. In the hidden corners of medieval cities, plague doctors set up secret spaces they called experimental chambers. These were usually basement rooms or abandoned buildings where they could work without anyone watching. Here they tested new treatments that mixed official medicine with questionable methods. They would combine regular herbs with metals like mercury and arsenic, hoping to find better cures. Some doctors kept detailed notes about which mixtures seemed to work, creating their own secret recipe books. They also used these private spaces to study dead bodies, which was against the law at the time. While this sounds scary, it actually helped them learn more about how diseases affected the human body. These hidden labs were also where they trained new plague doctors, teaching them both standard treatments and secret techniques passed down through generations. Some plague doctors left behind secret journals that tell very different stories from the official medical records. These hidden writings describe strange events they couldn't explain, like patients who seemed to glow in the dark during fever peaks, or wounds that healed overnight after certain treatments. Many doctors wrote about hearing mysterious whispers in empty plague wards and seeing shadows move against the laws of light. While we can explain some of these accounts as fever dreams or the effects of working long hours with toxic medicines, other stories remain puzzling. One journal from 1348 describes a doctor who claimed his mask allowed him to see death spirits hovering over soon-to-die patients. These personal accounts show how the line between medicine and mystery often blurred in those desperate times. While many plague doctors worked to save lives, some saw the pandemic as a chance to get rich. These corrupt doctors would sell fake cures at high prices, claiming they had special medicines that could guarantee survival. They'd charge extra for enhanced treatments that were just regular herbs mixed with water. Some even worked with local criminals, telling them which houses had valuable items before the owners died. They'd sell protection talismans made of cheap metal, claiming they were blessed with special powers. A few doctors would even threaten to mark healthy houses as infected unless they were paid off. These practices became so common that cities had to create strict rules about what doctors could charge. Some places even hired special guards to watch the plague doctors and make sure they weren't taking advantage of scared people. The plague doctors left behind a fascinating collection of coded letters and documents that we're still working to understand today. They developed a clever system using symbols mixed with regular writing, dots and lines that looked like normal ink spots but actually carried secret meanings. These messages shared everything from treatment methods to warnings about corrupt officials. Some doctors used invisible ink made from lemon juice, while others hid messages in their medical drawings. What's really interesting is how they used their prescription notes. Those seemingly random marks around medicine names were actually a code telling other doctors about local conditions. When researchers finally cracked some of these codes in the 1950s, they found detailed maps of disease spread, lists of trustworthy healers, and even recipes for medicines that actually worked. Recent archaeological digs have uncovered fascinating new evidence about plague doctors' real work. In old European cities, researchers found hidden rooms under medieval hospitals containing unusual tools, mysterious journals, and even early versions of surgical equipment. DNA testing on preserved herbs from doctors' kits showed they were using plants we now know have real medical benefits. Letters found in Venice's archives reveal these doctors were actually tracking disease patterns and sharing information across cities, similar to modern epidemic monitoring. They even discovered that some plague doctors were secretly performing basic autopsies to understand the disease better, despite this being forbidden by the church. While they didn't have modern medical knowledge, these findings show they were more scientific than we previously thought. Thanks for joining us on this dark journey through the mysterious world of plague doctors. Their legacy still influences medicine today. If you enjoyed uncovering these hidden secrets, hit like, subscribe, and share to help others discover these fascinating stories.